I'd like to just iterate a little bit on the livery process for PMR. So the previous video was very nitty-gritty, hands-on, in a sort of a unconventional way. That's the only way we can create liveries currently. But eventually, when we get the editor, we can see this 3D model like this, I think, with Giants Editor. So this is Giants Editor, the way I've set it up for Farming Sim. And this is one of the trucks in the game. Now, I've UV unwrapped this very terribly, sort of to make a point. So in Substance Painter, this is a standardized tool, or a industry standard tool for texture painting for games and visual effects and yeah, anything 3D really. Let's have a look at the UV here. So usually with templates for various games, you would end up with an outline of the UV islands. That is the body panels in this case. Like I said, this is auto unwrapped, very terribly done, but to also make a point. If we go to a split view here, we can see the car body and the UVs at the same time. And this tool is made to make it easy to paint directly on the 3D model, either in 3D space or in UV space. So let me make an example here. I'll make a fill layer. I'll make it like a bright orange. And I'll create a mask so it does not fill the entire car with this color. But now I can paint on it. If I want to, I can also hide the wireframes. That was just to make it easier for you to understand what a template might look like with wireframes. Let's also go back to a material view here so it's easier to see the shapes. So I can create something like this. Let's make it a little bit larger and just paint my stroke here. And now we can see that in UV space here, we have painted on this UV island, but also watch what happens when I paint across. You can see that it appears up here and appears on the next, but I don't care about that because I can paint in 3D directly on the car. Cool. Now, I've already made a little design here. Nothing super fancy, but you can see that the various parts here are colored, but it ends up looking really nice on the car itself. So let's export this and bring it into Giants Editor. So I'm just gonna refresh the textures, and here you go. Now we can see it on the 3D model, the way it will look in game with these this clear coat layer on top as well. Another thing is, you don't have to have Substance Painter. It does cost money, but it's well worth it if you ask me. If you do anything 3D modeling and need to texture the asset, you can get it on Steam. I prefer that because then you get a perpetual license. You pay for it once and keep it forever. Compared to Adobe Creative Cloud, you have to pay for a subscription. It is a yearly payment. Let's open this in Affinity. So I'm completely in the dark here. I don't know where anything is unless I know the 3D model and I know the UV layout. But ideally, you would have a car such as in PMR. They are laid out much better than this. They are very, very carefully and meticulously placed out. So it is more intuitive if you want to do it the 2D way. Okay, let's add like a number or something here on the hood. I think this is it over here. I'll add a number 47 because that's the land code if you were to call someone in Norway. And I'll just export this and refresh the texture in GE, and you'll see that it appears here on the hood. So you're free to use whatever you want as long as you can save to the format the editor or the game engine requires. I do hope that cleared something so you get an idea of what the process can be. You don't have to run the game and restart the game and so on. You can just run the editor, and yeah, if you have Painter, that's even better. That's going to be what you see is what you get, basically. One little thing I forgot to mention though, which is very nice about Painter, is that you can click and drag any of these alphas, as they're called, these decals or whatever you want to call them, and you can click and drag and just place them on here. If I want to keep using that orange, or maybe I want to have it white, and then I want to have like, I don't know, move it up here and then make that orange. I can move that mask around like so. I can export this again. I'm going to lose the number though, because that's not part of here. Actually, let's keep that. So I'm going to lose the number because that's not part of the design I have in here, but you'll see that it will look really nice in Giants Editor. So the point is that you have these decals which can be projected directly on the model very nicely, very easy. You can rotate, scale, and position anywhere you like. Now, I thought I was done previously. Now I'm really, really done.